Hello and welcome to Confidently Wrong, a show by regular dudes talking with confidence about content we have no right to speak about with any kind of authority, but do it anyway. I'm Wesley Nakamura, and as always, I'm joined by award-winning director Brian Redondo and Savon Jones, aka Captain Bonnie. This is episode 135, and we're giving out the 2023 Confidently Wrong Awards. It's going to be a blast. I'm confident that it's going to be the best show you've ever listened to, and well, hey, if it's not, you can always ask us for a refund.
Incredible!
Hello, gentlemen! Brian, why do you got such a scowly look on your face right now? Good to see you, bud.
I'm trying to see if we should add more categories to this thing.
Brian is like the king of more right now. He's just like, how about this idea? How about this one? We've got enough awards, man. You dilute the power of the awards if you have too many. Savon, welcome. Good to see you. How you doing out there in Detroit? Is it freezing? Is it warm? What are we going on there?
It's cold, but it's not like obnoxious cold yet. It's just like regular.
It's doable.
Cold. It's regular cold. Like
it's just like 20 degrees.
No, it's not. It's a nice day today. It's only 54. It's like a warm day. Like I'll go outside.
Yeah, that sounds unseasonably warm.
Yeah, right. Global warming.
That sounds climate crisis warm.
Yeah, but don't worry. Don't worry. It is. There's plenty of time for things to get freezing and awful. Don't worry. That's around the corner, I'm sure.
We forgot to acknowledge last show that we missed you on the previous show when we talked about the Marvels. I don't know if you ever got to saw it, but we're glad that you're
sick,
back.
I've been busy. Life has been lifing. I really want to see the movie, so I gotta go.
Work has been a dumpster fire.
Oh yeah, they put me through that blender.
Savon's been telling me about this work situation like crazy.
People just want things.
It's hard to be the man in charge.
I work in middle management. All right. The biggest.
It's hard to be the man in the middle.
Yeah, like I'm in charge. I like to describe it as like I'm like a venomless cobra. That's how I like to describe it. Like, yeah, I don't have the power that you think I have. Like, I have the illusion of power. I do not. I can't do a lot of what you think I can do. My powers are very limited. They're very finite.
But I need you to do the things that I tell you to do as if I do have these powers.
I have the power to say that you need to do these things. I don't have the power to change the things that you need to do. That's middle management. I have the power to say do it, not the power to change what you're doing. It's a very delicate dance.
All right. Great. Let's get into it. So we just had the Game Awards happen the other day. I didn't pay enough attention. I don't even know what won Game of the Year. Hopefully it was something good. I don't know. Savon, are you able to look for what actually won Game of the Year in the recent Game Awards?
I don't know who won, to be honest with you. I don't,
Baldur's Gate 3.
Baldur's Gate 3?
Yeah, plus I've been on the record.
It was Baldur's Gate 3.
Oh, that's nice.
Oh, it is all over Reddit. Must be a good game.
But I've been on the record saying that I think award shows are trash. So, like...
Yeah. But we're going to have our own... Wait, don't trash it too hard, because we're going to have our own award show now.
Other people's award shows, because I don't care about other people's opinions. I think my opinions are law. Because at least we have something resembling a rubric rather than just hype.
Our rubric is, okay, Brian, you go. Okay, Savon, you go. Okay, Wes, what do you think?
Hey, at least that's more honest than just, what game got the most promotion. I'm still mad that Elden Ring won Game of the Year when half the people who played it didn't even finish it. I'm still livid about that.
Hey, I didn't finish it, but I agree that it was the Game of the Year.
Hey, I know at least 5 other friends who all got Elden Ring, and I think I'm the only one of my friends who finished it. That is an indictment on the game, and I love Elden Ring. We're not about to give Game of the Year to some shit that y'all couldn't be mustered up to finish because of things the game does. But I'm set off about this. Clearly, I'm upset about this. So let's.
I agree with Sav for once.
It's an interesting point. It's a very fair point.
It's a great game. I beat it 3 times.
I also want to point out that even though Baldur's Gate 3 won Game Awards Game of the Year, the next 3 big awards, Best Game Direction, Best Narrative, Best Direction, all went to Alan Wake 2, which is a game I'm super interested in, but it's a horror game, so I'm never going to play.
Right? There we go. Big facts. Like, hard. The hardest of facts.
Can a scary game be the Game of the Year? No.
But it can win all the other awards. Nice.
Shit, Resident Evil.
All right.
Wuss of the Year, Brian Redondo.
Well, let's get into it. This is our 2023 year awards, end of year awards. We're going to run the gamut of things that we're interested in. We'll have some more serious awards. We'll have some kind of silly awards, and, some minor little, placeholders. So here we go. Number 1, best video game. My best video game of the year, 2023, Spider-Man. I was going to say Spider-Man 2023. No, Spider-Man 2 on PS5. I loved it. I played it. I spent so much time just like going around, fighting crime, swinging through the city. I played it for 44 hours when Savon only spent like 20 hours on it. So I clearly just like loved living as Spider-Man and Peter Parker and Miles Morales. It was a blast.
So many eye rolls from this peanut gallery over here.
Bro.
But anyway,
I don't care. It was so fun, and I played it the most. So game of the year.
Clearly, the best video game of the year was the one we've been waiting for like 7 years for. It was Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. Come on,
that's a good answer.
Everybody know it. Like, it just took what was already one of the masterpiece games of all time and doubled it in size and added way more mechanics and building. It's just phenomenal. I put 100 hours in, and I'm only midway through the game.
More is not necessarily better, and you haven't finished it yet.
I love more. Okay,
I see that.
The gift that keeps on giving.
Big facts.
Savon, what's your best game of the year? Video game of the year.
I'm gonna go with the Cyberpunk DLC, Phantom Liberty. Cyberpunk got off to a rough start, but the DLC, as well as the 2.0 patch that came along with it, completely revamped the game into something completely different. I've been on the record talking about this before. The DLC was amazing. It was an awesome techno cyberpunk spy thriller. Idris Elba plays an amazing role as this, basically American spy, almost CIA type agent. It was, by the time I finished the story, I was left with that emotional hangover feeling that I had when I beat Cyberpunk's base story the first time, where I really just felt like I needed a cigarette after the emotional roller coaster I've been on. But on top of that, they revamped the mechanics, they tightened up the gameplay, they made it to where you could just, there were points where me and Tyler were both screen sharing playing Cyberpunk, playing completely different games just off the build diversity. And that really stood out to me as just a fun, refreshing experience that pumped new life into a game that, again, got off to a very rocky start. And it reflects in just a lot of the player reviews of just started off ass and is now, like, to me, an all-time great game.
That's nice. That's comeback of the year.
That is, it's been a couple years for them to get it right, but they did a complete 180, and I gotta give props where props is due. Because I was on the record about being very upset with the first Cyberpunk in terms of some of the decisions they made.
That's like Jordan coming back from baseball award.
Yeah, this is like, or like early career, what was it, Chauncey? Who was it who started off right? Was it Chauncey Billups, and then he got better later in his career? It was like
and then won the chip.
Yeah, it was like a Chauncey Billups. Oh. Current season, Rudy Gobert.
Oh man, he's having a dominant season. Holy cow. All right, another big category, major part of our discourse. What was your best movie of 2023? Savon, what are you going with?
So there's a lot of movies that came out. Favorite is a tricky one, but I'm gonna go.
Nope, best.
We're talking
for
best.
Me, best.
This is about quality.
I'm gonna go with Barbie, yo. Barbie.
I'm
gonna go with Barbie. Barbie was such a breath.
It was that good. I still haven't seen it.
Barbie for me was such a breath of fresh air. It was different from so many other movies that I would normally watch. I figured it'd be a funny satire parody type deal. Did not expect what I was gonna get out of it. And my biggest reason why I gave it best of the year is that it was meant to be a funny movie. And I was in theaters busting out laughing multiple times. I think that's as organic as a review as you can get. A funny movie that makes you actively laugh out loud. I don't have too much else to say in regards to that. Like, it was funny as hell, bro. Like, I just don't know what else to say. And
I need to watch
and
that.
The hype around it made it fun because this was like
pretty cool.
Everyone was in the theaters wearing their pink and having a good time, and everybody in the theater was laughing. So it was a entertaining, but it almost gave me like in-game Marvel vibes of, hey, everyone's here to enjoy this as a collective group, and that really elevated the movie for me.
Cultural
Wes,
touch point.
When you watch it on the couch, you better be decked out in pink.
I'll wear
That's all
my
I'm
pink.
saying.
I don't actually own any pink, but I'll make it
Fool!
work. All right, Brian, what is the best movie?
The best
of
movie of
2023?
2023. You might expect me to say Killers of the Flower Moon or Oppenheimer.
Yeah, I
I
thought
would
you'd go with
thought you'd say some
Oppenheimer.
shit like that.
Or Miyazaki's new movie, The Boy and the Heron, which I saw the other night.
Nice.
However, in hindsight, it's got to be Across the Spider-Verse. That movie,
They didn't finish.
Great answer.
The movie
that
didn't
movie
finish.
Great answer,
was
Brian.
incredible.
Not a movie.
So
didn't finish.
good, really original. Took a template and made it even better. And you know, at the time I was like, oh, you know, I think the first one was better. Actually, no. Now in hindsight, the sequel is actually weightier, has more gravity, intense, just nonstop goodness throughout. And I have come to that realization because it's on Netflix, and I've actually watched it many times.
Yeah.
I watched it twice in the theater. You know, it's on in the background at home sometimes, and it is probably the most well-made, most memorable movie of this year. So
I don't disagree with you at all. Like, if you hadn't put that could have easily have been a 50-50 swap with Barbie, but I figured, he's got Spider-Man, then I'll do something a little different. But I completely agree with everything you're saying, Brian.
smart man.
Yeah.
I dock points because it didn't finish.
Heathen!
So, I loved it. Didn't finish.
Do you hate Star Wars movies?
Yeah, that's how a trilogy works, buddy.
Right?
All right, I guess. But it didn't end at all. Like there wasn't even a kind of a conclusion. All right, here we go. My best movie. I struggled on this one, partly because I have no memory. So that's a problem when you're trying to think of way back in March. Like I kind of forgot that that Across the Spider-Verse was even this year. I really loved Guardians of the Galaxy, but I don't think it qualifies as best movie. The Lakers beating the brakes off of the New Orleans Pelicans the other night. That was a pretty good movie. I loved watching that one. But I'm going with None. I think this year was kind of.
I didn't see that movie. When did it come out?
I think this year was on the weaker side of movies. There wasn't anything where I was like, man, that's a movie I want to see over and over and over again. And maybe that's just me not having seen as many movies this year, but I can't award any of the movies this year with a best of award. It's not possible. I'm not giving it to Barbie. I'm not giving it to Cross the Spider-Verse because they didn't finish their movie.
Best cop out of 2023. Nakamura.
It's a statement. I'm making a statement. I'm protesting the lack of quality this year. All right. Best television show. I thought we were going to be unanimous on this one. I really did. I thought we were close because me and Sav, we got the same one. Sav, tell them, what did we pick?
Yeah, Last of Us.
Easy. So easy. I don't even think you need to argue it.
Easy. But
no,
I wouldn't say easily.
What was in the running for you besides The Last of Us?
I mean, I think Blue Eye Samurai has a good case. I think Gen V has a decent case. There were some really good shows this year that, and I mean, I got to go through the list of all the other stuff that came out.
Not on the same level.
I respectfully disagree. There were some really good shows this year.
I did.
But, like I said, I landed on I mean, there was Beef. There was some really Beef was this year. Yeah, Beef was this year.
Beef was a great show.
Yeah, Beef was this year. There was a lot of really good stuff out. Like I said, I still landed on Last of Us, but I'm not going to pretend as if it was a runaway award. And part of my enjoyment of Last of Us, I'll fully admit, is my bias towards already knowing the quality of the story within the game. So that definitely impacts it too. But it's still, that's my show of the year. It was an amazing adaptation. They took a really great twist on elements of the game and improved upon it. And it was a show that was adapted from a video game that drew in a huge non-video game crowd. I talked about this with my non-gamer coworkers who didn't even know it was based off a video game. And I told them, hey, based off an extremely well-acclaimed game. And so, if you can't tell it's a video game, that really speaks to how much care was put into the adaptation because it didn't feel heavy-handed or it was done very authentically without sacrificing what made it good. So, show of the year, but other shows were cooking too.
I don't think you sold this one enough. The
hell?
The lukewarm best TV show.
It was a phenomenal show, and like phenomenal in that it was a phenomenon in itself. I mean, like you said, everybody was watching the show, everybody loved it. I talked about it with my students all the time.
You guys just sound like hype beasts right now.
Oh man, it was so good. And not that I didn't like these other shows. I didn't love Beef. I thought that was like okay, but I don't think any of them hit the level that The Last of Us hit in terms of both like the number of people that were talking about it, watching it, but also just like the investment, the like, I don't know, heartbreak that you were feeling in this show. Just so well done. And I want to talk about a little bit about it later in a different award. Brian, what was your show of the year? Why are you wrong about this? Tell us.
I'm absolutely right, and we know I am on each one of these picks. That's without a doubt.
You picked a movie that didn't have an ending.
It's an ending, man.
Movies
you just
didn't like
can't wrap your mind around things breaking conventions. Jeez. Best television show of the year. Even though The Last of Us was great, I agree it was great. Rushed through some things, and I think that's where I got a docket.
I agree
Reservation Dogs final season, also great. But I'm thinking about this in terms of seasons, right? So Reservation Dogs to me is like one of the best shows that have been around. But best television season this year for me was actually, when I think about it, it was The Bear. Like
really?
The show that just really, one, is just like fresh and original, but also executed in such an engaging, fun way. You know, the places they take you in The Bear from episode to episode, particularly this season, were just always so surprising and intense and nerve-wracking, but a joy to watch, and endearing, but gut-wrenching. All of these things mashed together, told in a way that was just, you know, skillfully and artfully special, right? There's nothing else like The Bear on TV. And so hats off to them. They get the golden trophy.
I do look like Ben 10.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Green is an interesting color for you.
I'm just glad I'm not tripping.
All right. I loved The Bear. You know what I thought you were going to go with? I thought you were going to pick something like Succession.
Succession, also great final season.
So I've heard.
Great final season.
Never watched it.
But
yeah,
but
me either.
I think to me it's almost like the technical and creative storytelling that pushes The Bear above all these other shows. Like same thing with The Last of Us, like kind of told in a standard way. But The Bear, like, you know, when you see these like 20-minute long takes of just nonstop tension,
yeah,
you know, no other show does it like that. So
well said. I'm not going to change, but The Bear is really good. And if you haven't seen season 2 yet, very different than season 1 in a lot of ways, but still like really, really great. All right. I wanted to make a different category this year because I think we sometimes don't recognize it. Best animated series or movie deserves their own little attention because sometimes we don't give them enough credit. So I wanted to make sure that we got to highlight something animated. Mine we've already highlighted. My pick was Across the Spider-Verse. I did,
but it doesn't have an ending.
It doesn't have an ending. I know it was still really good. I just had to dock it a few points, so it didn't make movie of the year. Sav, what's your best animated series or movie this year?
Ooh, they had a lot of good animated stuff. There's a lot of competition this year for good animated stuff, but as just a dedicated fanboy, I gotta go with Invincible season, the first split of the season. Even only 4 episodes in, I've loved the adaptation. I love the direction they're going. All of the changes that they made from the comic have been for the improvement and have made the show better. I'm excited for the second half we get next month. A lot of this is part of my own bias and hype, but the fact that it lived up to a lot of the hype really got me excited. You know, I don't know if y'all finished that first half of Invincible yet, but have you finished it, Brian?
Yes.
What about you, Wes?
I have not. I don't necessarily care about spoilers. I haven't been motivated to go back to it.
Well, I'm gonna just talk my stuff. Right. That Viltrumite, that
completely disregard your.
He said
opinion,
he don't really
Wes.
care. Go ahead. That Viltrumite fight was like that last episode, half series finale. Brian, I loved it. It was, you know,
a half series finale. That's where we're at, ladies and gentlemen. 2020. We've got a half series.
I mean, they split the season in half. Point is, I enjoyed this that conclusion to this half of the season. I was entertained. I kept rewatching the episode. the voice acting, the action sequences, the fighting, Mark and Omni-Man's relationship, all of that. I was thoroughly entertained, and I'm so excited for what they're going to do later. That overshowed.
All right,
a
I
lot
need
of
to go
stuff.
back to it. I need to go back to it. All right, Brian, what's your best animated series or movie?
So you know what my best movie is, but for best animated series, when just like thinking, actually, I don't even know why I'm trying to explain this. I'm just picking something that I don't think a lot of people have heard of and deserves a spot. Is the series Scavenger's Reign?
Pity award. I see. Pity award.
This is not a pity award because this show is phenomenal, and to me is important in terms of animation because it's pushing us into a different direction. And so this show is on Max. It's about in the distant future, some space travelers who are on their way to create a colony with, they got all the materials and stuff. Their ship bursts and a few survivors crash land on a planet that they're unfamiliar with, and they have to survive, and they're there for what I think is like months and months and months. So they're like figuring out how the flora and fauna of that world work in order to survive. And what makes this show great as an animation is that, one, this is not anime, this is not Japanese or anything. This is Western animation, and it's not trying to be anime either. It's like completely its own kind of thing. It really pays homage or whatever to the comic book sci-fi artist Mobius. So it's like very, very delicate line work, and just like the craziest character animations that you've ever seen of the different creatures that inhabit this alien planet. Like these, in some alien type things, they just like take an animal that we know on Earth and make it bigger or something. Like suddenly there's a giant praying mantis walking around this planet. This show goes really deep into creating very unique organisms that all function and behave in wild ways that you wouldn't expect. And it's just like it's just such a trippy thing to watch as an animation. And so it's a phenomenal series. It's must watch. It's fantastic, and I hope everybody watches it because it's special. It's like truly special.
Whoa! All right, now I want to watch it.
Add it to my potential list.
Okay.
Actually, I don't think you guys will like it because it's a little scary.
Oh, never mind. I'm gonna pass on that, player.
It's body horror. There's a little body horror going on.
Should we watch it sober, or should Savon,
I think if you're high, it would make it worse.
Okay.
If I'm being honest.
Challenge accepted.
Because it gets a little spine tingly. I'm not gonna lie.
Challenge accepted.
All right. Nice. All right, let's speed this up. Let's make it short and quick now. Here we go. We got the Stole the Show award. So not necessarily the reason you tuned into that show or movie, but ended up being really amazing as a contributor to that. Savon, who are you picking for your Stole the Show award?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem, which I will say I still think is the best Ninja Turtle movie, period, in terms of just everything that they did.
It was pretty fun.
It might be.
Ice Cube as Superfly was the best shit. I love. Oh, y'all just some little tortoises. Hey, don't cuz me. And when he comes out of the decked out car to Bruno Mars and Gucci Mane's Superfly, yeah, I'm Superfly. Yeah, I'm Superfly. I in the theaters lost my shit. I'm like, this is the hardest thing I've seen all year. I love this. I'm trying to get my friends to watch that movie just so that we can all talk about that scene in particular. It's just
we outside.
I just did not expect to. I just not expect to go to a Ninja Turtle movie and just hear Gucci Mane, Bruno Mars, and Ice Cube doing like a decked out pimp entrance. I just was not emotionally prepared for that, and that made a great movie an amazing movie.
All right, my Stole the Show award. I'm going with Nick Offerman. What's his name in Parks and Rec?
Oh, Ron Swanson in Parks and Rec.
Ron Swanson himself taking a turn though in The Last of Us as I forgot his name in the show. Bill.
Iconic.
What a phenomenal episode. Him and the guy from the other show, White Lotus. Oh man, they just knocked it out the park. Really loved watching that episode.
Amazing
and
episode.
I thought that just I don't like to use the word elevated. I think that gets used too much on HGTV. But it felt like and the Food Network. Elevate this dish, elevate this space, blah blah.
Elevated.
It's a good verb.
Yeah. It is a good verb, but I think it really just like really expanded.
Most overused word of 2023.
Oh man, of like the past 4 years or 5 years. So I think it really expanded. It really, I don't know, just layered on so much more to this show than was going to be there without it. And it's one of the things that they added that wasn't necessarily in the game. So kudos to them for doing that, and then kudos to Nick Offerman for just pulling off a great character here that we got to meet. In the show. So
hard
agree.
I want to sneak in another award there. So best episode of 2023 might be that Nick Offerman.
Yeah,
episode.
no, 100%. I mean, we gotta really reflect, but like, God, that one stands out, man. That was so damn good.
It was
that
really
could
well
be its
done.
own
All right,
episode
Brian,
on its
stole
own.
the show award.
Stole the show award in Across the Spider-Verse. Oh, go ahead. What?
Sav?
Oh,
what'd you say?
Oh, I didn't have no. Continue, Brian. I have nothing of substance. Keep going, bro.
Thank you for that. Across the Spider-Verse, a movie we're expecting to see Miles Morales, but we get Spider-Gwen for the first 20 minutes instead. Wow, that was amazing. I wasn't mad at it. I was actually on board almost from the jump, and I could have watched a whole movie that's Spider-Gwen. So she stole this award and my heart.
Agreed.
Who's that? It's Haley Steinfeld, right?
I think so.
Yeah, she was a great deuteragonist, and Wes, I know we keep talking about
the drumming,
and I know we keep talking about how the movie didn't have an ending, but her arc got a clean ending in that movie to set up for Miles' longer one. So like, but you got to be paying attention and listening and remembering for that kind of stuff. It's all good. Got him. You know I love you.
How do I kick Savon out of the chat?
Baby, you know I
how
love
do we
you.
do that? Is this like Zoom? Can I make him leave? No. Okay.
Pull rank.
All right.
Pull rank. Big dog status. Y'all seeing it now. Confidently wrong. The 30 for 30. The fall of a dynasty. Wes is gonna Draymond me.
Whoa.
Just deck me in the grill.
Later, Jordan.
And yeah, too bad, Mr. Poole. No one loves him. All right. We'll keep going. This is Fine award. So we invented this award. It's what is a hot mess, but people just can't admit there's a problem. They just are like, this is fine, and they're just in denial. They're in denial. Brian, what is your This is Fine award?
This is my hot take. It's Barbie.
Whoa.
Overhyped.
Everybody
so
loves
much
Barbie.
hype. Everyone's like, oh my God, Barbie. It was good. I'm not saying it was a bad movie.
Okay.
It's just like it's not a great movie. It's not even that hilarious. It's like funny. It's like, oh, that's funny. Or like there are moments where like, oh, that's funny. But it's never like gut busting. Like, I don't think so. And the whole second half of the movie is so focused on Ken that it just like loses itself.
That's true.
It's like, what? Why are we so like? How does he suddenly become the gravity of this movie?
Effing hilarious.
And it's like, yeah, it's funny. It's funny, but it's not like really funny. You know what I mean?
No,
just like a man to tell people what's funny, and
you are the patriarchy.
That is Ken.
All right.
And I think people just like it because of the hype, and it's fun. As Savon pointed out, it was fun when everybody got out together, dressed in pink, and
nothing wrong with that.
It was the water cooler sensation of the summer. I think that's fun, but it's fine.
Yeah. All right. Sav, do you have a This is Fine award?
Yeah. For me, it's Oppenheimer. People are coping, convincing themselves that this boring shit is entertaining. Y'all not about to convince me that this long form, 3.5 pretentious movie about the man who built the bomb is you not about to convince me that is entertaining. That shit looks so. Literally, when I saw the trailer in theaters, and I normally get sucked into trailers for like the wackest movies, I'm like, ooh, that looks fun. I saw the Paw Patrol trailer, I was like, ooh, this could be fun. And I saw the Oppenheimer trailer and was like, "Yo, this shit looks whack."
I never thought those two IP would be compared.
Yeah,
but
I see the Oppenheimer trailer, I was like, "Oh my god, this shit looks so boring." And maybe it's not bad, but I'm convinced that it's the same with Barbie, where people are hyping themselves up to think that, oh, this is such a cultured movie. Oh yes, this is highest form of media, that they convince themselves that just some boring, pretentious shit is better than it is. I'm not gonna say it's a bad movie, but people need to like chill out and keep their pants on. Like, hey, it's a long drama about a dude who sad he built a bomb. Let's not act like this is, some revolutionary shit. People won't be happy until Christopher Nolan actually bombs a city for authenticity and realism. Like, all right, get off your.
He hasn't seen the movie.
Like, I ain't got time for this. I ain't got time for this shit.
None of that is on screen.
I said what I said. What I said. I said what I said.
I should have not let him give that award. What the heck?
You should have never gave me a platform. Fool.
All right. The next award is kind of the opposite. So, you know how you could have like a dumpster fire or like it's just really bad and it's on fire and like, oh my God, like this is horrible. This is like that, but it's the golden dumpster because it's not on fire. It's just people think it sucks or people aren't into it, but really it's actually really good or you really like it. So the golden dumpster award goes to, I think it should go to the Marvels. I think people are hating on that movie or people are just like weren't into it. And it kind of came off an actual dumpster fire or not a metaphorical dumpster fire of Secret Invasion, which was just really horrible. And I think it really killed momentum going into people's excitement to the Marvels, and it didn't even connect, and it should have. But the movie by itself, if you don't like get too worked up about Secret Invasion being horrible, is actually a really fun movie. They do some cool things. I think it's a golden dumpster. It's, you think it's going to be garbage and it actually ends up being, pretty good. And we enjoyed it. Great time, entertaining. And Ms. Marvel, awesome. So that's my golden dumpster. Brian, what is your golden dumpster?
I generally enjoyed the Marvels. It's not the greatest, but yeah. For me, it's a summer movie that caught a lot of flack, basically based on its box office revenue, which is like, what? Why is that even a metric for how good something is? And so for me, that's Elemental, the Pixar movie that didn't do so well, but anybody that watches that movie now is like, wow, that was actually pretty good. That's a pretty good movie. And I'm gonna one up that one. I felt the same way about Lightyear. So
Lightyear was a good movie. People just are dumb. I don't know what else to say.
Did anyone hate Lightyear? I think it just wasn't like
it's like the butt of every joke, about Pixar now. Yeah,
but
at least it wasn't Lightyear.
Yeah, but Lightyear was a good movie with an original story, and like I thought Lightyear was a legitimately good movie. I think the hate was people who just frankly can't think for themselves and don't want to just try shit out and just form their own opinion.
Which is how I feel about Elemental. Elemental,
it was so good.
I'm not interested in
is
Elemental.
Fairly original.
I'll concede that.
Great characters, beautiful animation.
It's an allegory for like a immigrant story, right? Isn't that like what a lot of movies are allegory for?
Yes.
So maybe that played a role in why, including me, maybe it didn't grip me, but I won't go as far as to say it was bad, but I know like, oh, it didn't grip me, but I won't say it's bad. So that's a fair comparison. I'll give you that.
What's your golden dumpster?
The Flash, baby. The Flash. I've always been a fan of the Flash character. Speedsters are notoriously hard to write because it's such an overpowered superpower that it's hard to have it without invalidating the plot. And despite a bazillion production issues with the movie, including Ezra Miller being a real-life supervillain, like, this all came together to still be an entertaining movie. I thought, the alternate Flash character was interesting. The Flash and how they actually used his power set was fun. Like I said, the movie especially fell apart in like the final act when they had that ridiculous long multiverse sequence with all the Superman and all that dumb shit and the giant spider.
Oh my God, and Nicolas Cage.
That was one of the worst things I've ever seen. But as a collective movie, I was up until that part, I was genuinely entertained by the movie, despite knowing that there were flaws, because it felt like a comic book movie that didn't take itself too seriously and actually struck a tonal balance where I never felt like, oh my God, I'm bored watching this movie. I had a few moments where I'm like, oh, this is ridiculous. But when it comes to comic book stuff, I'm okay with saying that in theaters. Oh, this is ridiculous, because I can suspend my disbelief just by the nature of the genre. But I walked out that movie thinking, man, I spent $10 on that. I was entertained. That's all I want out of a movie. I won't complain about that.
It might be one of the better superhero movies of this year.
Like,
no. Is that a stretch?
I don't know if it's better, but I think The Flash is the kind of movie that would have like a cult following years later, because people look back and said, was it fundamentally flawed in ways? Sure, but was it still entertaining? Yes. And I think that's what movie viewers care about the most. You could have a well-written, well-produced movie that's just not entertaining, and that means that, I think that should be held against it. And movies that are poorly written and have lots of other issues that are entertaining, which I think that's what matters. It's not entertaining. I disagree.
All right. All right. You can disagree. All right. Next one. The Wemby Award. The Chet Holmgren Award. Rookie of the Year. Best Debut. New IP. Mine is going to the same one we're all going to pick. Blue Eye Samurai. We really like this. And
Blue Eye Samurai.
I think partly because it just came out of the blue, or
out of the blue eye. Blue eye? Yeah, buddy. Oh, we are in rare form, fellas.
It just kind of came out of nowhere for us. It came out of the blue, and very cool. I don't know. Just enjoyed it. Watch or listen to our whole pod we did on it last week or whatever previous show, to see what we thought about that one. It wins the Rookie of the Year. Well
Can't
done,
wait
guys.
for more.
Yes, that too. All right. The Most Confidently Wrong Award. This is for who amongst us had the wrongest take, but did so with extreme confidence. Savon, who wins this award this year?
Oh, it's got to be Wes. Wes got to get the confidently wrong, because, and you know me,
Definitely
I
Wes.
love pulling me some receipts. But when we did our summer movie preview, was it earlier this year? Yeah, it was.
Give us the audit.
Yeah, we're going to have to, at West, we're going to look, I'm going to find the audio clip.
What episode?
It was a summer movie preview. That was the episode. We'll have to check and see which one. So I'll check back in our old post. But in West, I'll send you the episode so we can find a link to you saying it. But when they introduced Barbie as a movie, me and Brian were both excited about it. And you were saying that it was a toy nostalgia cash grab. And I remember us saying, just based on just the fact that it's a Barbie movie in 2023, it's going to be a satire parody type tongue-in-cheek movie, which is exactly what it was. And it made boatloads of money, and again, had a whole cultural zeitgeist back and forth with Oppenheimer, because that's how popular both movies were. But you thought it was going to be
kicked Oppenheimer's ass at the box office.
Oh yeah, but that was always going to be the case, because Oppenheimer is boring as shit as a premise. As a premise, not as a...
Because there's no doll of Oppenheimer.
Man, people were not buying Barbie dolls because of that damn... I mean, maybe they were. But point is, you were completely, egregiously wrong about Barbie. This wasn't just you not liking it, which is its own thing. It was a you thinking that it was definitely... It was a you thinking it was going to perform poor. No, him not liking it is fine. He thought that it was going to perform poorly.
He was extrapolating.
Yeah. And he didn't recognize that, again, what you and I read as, oh, this is going to be a modern satire type movie because of just how people feel about Barbie in modern society, which is exactly what it was, regardless of how you felt about the quality of the film itself.
I was wrong. I will take that L.
You ain't got no choice.
Way to be confident about it.
It was.
We appreciate it.
I was sure that it was going to be a flop at the box office, and it was
the exact opposite.
And then this guy also saw Rise of the Beast. This guy also was hyped to see the Transformers Rise of the Beast movie, which was awful.
I did want to see that. Was it? Nobody saw that one.
No
either.
one saw that.
I didn't even know it came out. I went looking for it. Like, when is this going to come out? It turns out it had been in the theaters for over a month at that point.
Oops.
So no one saw it. All right, let's keep going. The Butt Fumble Award. This is for who fumbled the bag hardest this year. Brian, who fumbled the bag?
Because we just had the NBA in-season tournament, the first ever NBA Cup. And
too bad we're recording on the day of the finals. So we don't even know who won, if it's going to be Tyrese Halliburton.
Well, we already know he tore Ish up, man. This man is making a statement, planting a flag in the state of Indiana. He has arrived, and the Knicks could have drafted him. That's right. Just like they could have drafted Steph Curry, they could have also have drafted Tyrese Halliburton. He was still on the board, and instead they picked Obi Toppin, who I love, but who
But
is
not-
now also
yeah.
playing with Tyrese Halliburton. So, butt fumble yet again and perpetually to my beloved New York Knicks.
I mean,
Way
to
to
be
blow
fair,
it.
many teams passed on Tyrese before.
We were one away, but he was actually in the conversation.
Ah,
Like, people were actively
bummer.
saying, "This guy, you should pick this."
Where
guy.
did he go to college?
I don't know. I don't
Okay.
remember.
He was in there. He was available. Should have picked him.
LOL Knicks.
I think that's pretty clear. Yep. All right. Well, my Lakers are in the NBA Cup. This episode will come out in a few, so we'll know if they won or lost. But good luck to them tonight. I hope they win.
I hope
obviously,
they lose.
But but if the Pacers win, what a story! I'm not going to be mad at that. Like, they've played phenomenal. They've been such a story and fun. And this NBA Cup has been a win for the NBA season and competition and fans. So well done to the NBA for creating this and willing to take on the heat. I think the haters, the criticizers ahead of time, the critics ahead of time were saying that it was going to be a flop. Why should I care? We shouldn't care. And it's turned out to be
exact
something absolutely
opposite.
care about. Yeah.
It's a puff.
Oh, I have one more fumble.
Another confidently wrong award goes to all the haters of the NBA Cup.
Yeah.
What's our fumble?
My fumble is for for me. I give this fumble to Savon. For my fantasy,
A self fumble.
my fantasy basketball team, the Detroit Caterpillars.
Yeah.
We are in
The
week.
Detroit Caterpillars.
Yeah, we are in week 7 of the NBA season, I believe. My fantasy team is about to be 0-7.
You're like the
you're
Detroit
worse than
Pistons.
Detroit.
We effing suck. Every major player who I drafted is having like a down year. Andrew Wiggins,
Oh, no.
down year. Jaylen Brown, lower averages. Zach LaVine, good God, he's not
Oh,
even
boy.
playing anymore. Like, I have Giannis who's doing well, but all of my people who I was expecting heavy production from are all collectively having down years. And so we are about to be 2 months into basketball, and I have not won a single matchup yet.
And you're changing your lineups every
This
day.
is
Like, you're doing all the
not a
things.
ghost team that I forgot to manage because I didn't set my lineups. I set my lineups religiously. I set my lineups every day. We just, honest to goodness, suck. And the second worst team in my league has 2 wins. I have 0. We suck. It's rough out here. Part of me wants to just tank and just blow my team up so that I can shift the balance of power to somebody else. At this point, I'm like, I just want to give away Giannis to somebody and just punt for the year and tank, knowing that we don't even have draft picks for the next year. So me sucking doesn't even benefit me in the next year. But I am so checked out.
You should trade Giannis to spite someone else.
At this point, I'm half considering, like, am I just going to give up on this season and just become an agent of chaos? And just
Can you get like side compensation, off the record?
if I want to cheat, I guess. But at this point, like, shit, what they gonna do? What I'm gonna do? Lose? I'm
Yeah.
already losing. Like, they can't. like, what's the comp they gonna do? Are we gonna dock a win?
Yeah. You got none.
You can't take
Negative
You
wins.
can't take what one doesn't have. So you can't take
This
a
man
life that
has
doesn't
nothing
exist.
to lose.
Literally, I
This
have
man has
nothing to
nothing to
lose. So fumble
your
to me
dignity.
for my dignity. I already lost it. Like, that's gone. There's nothing. I can't take what's gone already. So I feel like your boy Tygan, just like, yo, man, I need my honor. I need a duel. I need something. But like, this shit ain't it.
All right. Do we want to do
Got that
our
bald
last
patch.
award, or should we finish there? Because that was pretty good. Brian, you want to do the last
What
award?
are your family?
Our last award is Father of the Year 2023 for spending all his time podcasting rather than taking care of his children. Wesley Nakamura. Here's to you, my
Hey.
friend.
Thank you. All right, friends, that'll take us out. I hope you enjoyed our walk down memory lane, or spotty memory lane, as it was for me. 2023 was an interesting year in movies, video games. What else do we talk about? TV shows,
Basketball.
Yeah, basketball. The Team USA finishing 4th in the World Cup. Another down moment, fumbled the bag. How did we do that? All right, friends. That'll do us. Enjoy the new year. We're going to probably take a little bit of a break. We'll be back sometime, January, February time with all the hot takes that you know and love. Hit us up Instagram at confidently_pod. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah. Happy New Year. Happy Kwanzaa. Yeah. What other holidays are out there around this time?
Happy Festivus for the rest of us.
All right. Friends, we'll see you later. Bye.